Hello there, I'm your host Kazu, and welcome to the 4th episode of the Samba Radio. On this show, I bring music both new and old from the subgenre of punk, soul, reggae, and ska music. Also, we had a great chat with the legendary Nolan Porter. Let's start with his classic song right here, Only If I Could Be Sure. This is Samba Radio.
If I could only be sure that you love me, baby. If I could only be sure that you love me, baby. I'd climb the highest mountain, I'd swim the deepest sea. I'd take on all your misery just to make you happy. Yeah, yeah. If you just let me love you, baby. If you just let me love you, baby. If I could read your mind, saying and love me, darling. If I could read your heart, saying and never leave me. Oh no, there isn't anything I would do. My life away, my attitude, yes I would. I turn my world upside down. I turn my smiles all into frowns. I'd do anything and oh yeah. If you just let me love you, baby. If you just let me love you, baby. Just let me love you, baby. If you just let me love you, baby. Ooh, yeah. Love me. If you was to leave me, baby, I couldn't ever
That was Only If I Could Be Sure and Keep On by Nolan Porter. Alright, this is the moment you guys been waiting for. Next up is an interview with Nolan Porter on Samba Radio. Enjoy. I'm with my friend Nolan Porter.
Hello.
Yeah, and really happy that we're here ready to talk about music. How about that? Yeah.
Hey, I'm always ready to talk about music.
Yeah, I mean, like it's great that you're here, and just I wanted to know like a little bit, about your background as an artist and like how you like come about. And did you grow up in like a creative household where your mom and dad played instruments or something?
Well, I grew up in a semi-creative household. My mother had a beautiful voice. Mm-hmm. She auditioned for Count Basie when she was very young. Count liked her, but my mother decided not to get involved in the music business. I was born right about the time she auditioned for Count Basie. She got to meet Count Basie because her father's stepbrother was a guy named Charlie Mingus,
mm-hmm.
jazz player.
Yeah.
So Charlie, we knew Charlie was into music, and it sort of came around with some of the other family, but nobody was as great as Charlie.
Yeah.
But my mother had a golden voice, and but she just decided she'd rather be a mother, I guess, than a singer.
Oh, I see.
So that's kind of where I get my talent from, is my mother. And I didn't listen to Charlie Mingus's music when I was a kid, because I really wasn't into jazz, and my family didn't talk about it that much because at that time musicians had a very bad rap.
I see. Why is that?
Well, for their personal habits.
Oh, I see.
It's just rumors a lot of times, but they had a bad. So my mother didn't want to go down that path, and she didn't really want me to go down that path. But it was in me. So I just, as soon as I got in junior high, I started singing with choirs. By high school, I was doing musicals. I did Porgy and Bess. I did West Side Story. Nice. That was my first love. Was musical theater was my first love.
Okay.
Did some light opera. And by the time I turned 18, what changed everything is I met a guy named Gabriel Mekler, who was producing a group called Steppenwolf in the early days when they had all their hits, Born to Be Wild, and a group called Three Dog Night. But he and I just met through his sister. His sister and I used to sing classical music at LACC, Los Angeles City College.
Oh, interesting. Okay. And
she says, I've got this brother that produces rock groups, a group called Steppenwolf and a group called Blue Cheer. This is 1968, 67, 68. And so I finally met her brother. He was with ABC Dunhill at that time, and also he was playing piano for Sonny and Cher.
Yeah.
And I had no pop music background. Like I said, I just mainly, even though I had a little bit of gospel background from church, mainly it was a classical background.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, sort of like Brenda Holloway had a very strong classical background in music before she started in pop music.
Oh, okay.
And so those were the early roots, but when I met Gabriel, everything changed.
Yeah.
For the next year and a half, he had me singing Otis Redding and what's the guy from the Rolling Stones, Mick Jagger.
Mick Jagger, okay.
Because I remember when I first auditioned to him, I sang a song by, you ever heard of Donovan?
Yeah, I know Donovan.
And I sang for him in a perfectly operatic voice. Sunshine came softly through my, window today. And that's not rock and roll, dude.
Yeah.
But over the next 2 years of working with this guy, and just like I said, inundating me with Otis Redding, Mick Jagger, and a few others.
Yeah.
I started really loving R&B, and within a couple of years, we started recording.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of like shaped from like meeting this guy and kind of like
learning about Gabriel was. I mean, I had other music teachers in school, but Gabriel sort of he put it together for me.
Right.
My first album is, if you've heard the first album, it's as much rock as R&B. It wasn't really solid R&B.
True. Yeah.
But in the early '70s, when I started doing If I Could Only Be Sure, Keep On Keeping On.
Yeah.
And Groovin Out on Life, with reggae tunes I brought over from Jamaica.
Yeah.
Then that's where I really started forming my ability to sing R&B and reggae.
Yeah. Okay. That's really interesting. Like how just all that event just kind of shaped you, and you're like, you know what, I'm starting to like this type of music, and like it's really interesting.
Well, when you live in LA, you're exposed to so many cultures, so many arts, different art forms, and music and everything else. So growing up in LA was an advantage.
Yeah.
Because I had friends of so many cultural backgrounds, and and other creative people, we'd share what we were creating.
Yeah.
You know? And it's the same thing. Kids are doing it. Young people are doing it now more than ever.
Yeah,
You know?
very much so.
Yeah.
It's like, I think everybody believes that they're able to actually do it on their own, so that's why it just encourages them to like get on a computer and start recording their own stuff.
Yeah,
And,
but there are still some that are excellent and some who learn the technology and it's okay.
Yeah.
But there's still always people, even though it's maybe you have to have a techno background, no computers,
Yeah.
and put it together with the music. Some do it better than others.
Yeah, true. It's really interesting how you say that you have like a classical background. And what was your first instrument, by the way?
My first instrument was, I'm going to say either piano or viola. Actually, I started playing piano around 12 and viola around 13.
Viola? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But piano was really my instrument. I just took a year's classes in college formally, but I just started playing piano at 12 because I was bored. I went to live with my father, and my father divorced, and I went to live with my father, and I didn't know anybody in the neighborhood, and I was bored to tears.
Yeah.
And he had an upright piano in the living room, which he didn't know how to play. My father couldn't sing. He couldn't sing "Mary Had a Little Lamb." But anyway, I had a love affair with the piano and actually started writing stuff, limericks and things when I was 12, 13.
Wow, that's interesting.
I didn't publish anything.
Oh, okay, got it. But then, like, when you were like starting off with like viola and stuff, were you like actually in like an orchestra or something?
Yeah,
Okay.
I played in the Barindo Junior High Orchestra, and then I went to Hollywood High. They had a theater arts musical workshop every summer at Hollywood High, and I played in their orchestra viola.
Wow.
Yeah, for a while. But actually, that's where I found out. I mean, I was okay on viola, but there were people in my class that were much better than me, more advanced, because they had actually taken lessons.
Yeah.
So even though was fairly good just for the couple of years public lessons I had,
Yeah.
with that musical ability, I found that I was a singer.
I see.
That singing was more my thing, so I started just getting more into the singing.
More invested into
Yeah.
like that type of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you take any lessons on singing, or was it kind of like DIY, like do it on your own?
I had good teachers. Sure, in high school and junior high, I had really good music teachers that, you know, they saw something, an ability in me, I guess, that they wanted to help develop.
Right.
So, you know, I mean, most thing I've learned, I stand on other people's shoulders. My teachers in high school, after I started recording, I told you, Gabriel Mekler and then Johnny Guitar Watson came over to Lizard Records where I was for a while, and Johnny and I became friends, and next, you know, he's telling me about the business, and next thing I know, he's on If I Could Only Be Sure, playing the guitar riff.
Yeah.
Just so many people that were further along and perhaps more talented than I was. I owe a whole lot to.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you've been asked this question like many times, but how did you come up with the song If I Could Only Be Sure? Like, I know that's kind of like an ongoing track that you like you enjoy performing, and like, you know.
Well, you know, some people ask, you know, which came first, the lyrics or the music?
Yeah.
I think with that song, well, okay, I was always involved in relationships that were a little bit premature.
Right, yeah.
And anyway, you know, at that age, you know, so I think I had a girlfriend at that time, and I knew she liked me, but I couldn't figure out whether she loved me or not. Right?
Yeah.
So Johnny, I just had a little instrumental jam. He started putting that guitar lick over it, and then the lyrics sort of came out of that guitar lick. If I could only be sure that you love me, you know.
Yeah.
And so basically, it was Johnny's guitar lick and a very not to say bad relationship, but a relationship with an ex-girlfriend.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of people were able to like relate with it, so that's why, like, you know.
Yeah. Everybody wants to know if they can be sure.
Yeah, because you never know, right?
You never know.
Yeah. How did you feel when you like first like realized like that track had like, you know, a lot of traction, and like when it was like on like a soul chart and stuff like that? Like,
as soon as it came out, within a year, and I never signed with ABC Dunhill.
Yeah.
I've got a situation with them now. They morphed into Universal Records, and we're having a little dispute.
I see.
But ask me the question again.
I mean, how did you feel when you started realizing that the song? Had a
Oh
lot
yeah,
of
right
traction?
after Lizard released it, within a few months, people were buying it. They were picking it up. It was on the charts. Matter of fact, I had If I Could Only Be Sure, Keep On Keeping On,
Keep on keeping on. Yeah.
and a Jamaican song, Groovin' Out on Life, They were all on, and I look at you give. They were all on the charts within a year and a half. Because Lizard was only around 2 years.
Yeah.
So they were all on the charts, and people heard them and they liked them. You know, it blew my mind. And little guy that used to sing classical music, got R&B hit out, and I'm trying to think which other one. Yeah, the first album opened up some doors, but there were no singles that made the charts.
Yeah.
But all of them were on the charts.
Wow.
The problem was they were all under different names.
Yeah.
Right? And even though Lizard had subsidiaries of Vulture and another record company, so the idea was the people that were managing me were going to put me on the Ed Sullivan Show and show that all these records that were on the charts, three of them at the same time, were the same person.
Wow.
Because one was under Nolan,
one
was under Frederick II, and one was under Nolan Porter.
Yeah.
And they all sounded a little different. Because I was trying to find my voice.
Yeah.
But I was blown away. In L.A., keep on keeping on. I think it was 1972. It was #1 record in Los Angeles, and I was listening to it on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
So it was very exciting, but things didn't turn out like I thought they were.
Right.
Or I didn't know they're not here, but I didn't realize that in Europe that stuff was doing all right.
Well, why do you think that? Is there like some sort of movement where like soul music is like where people listen to it more over there, or?
Well, let me put it this way. The first time I ever saw an R&B review on television was made in England in 1958.
Wow. So
the Brits have been into soul music for a long time.
That's interesting. Okay.
When I went to Wales in 2005, 2006, to something they called a Prestatin, which are all-nighters, 4,000 or 5,000 people show up, they dance all night, smoke cigarettes, and exchange records. Right?
Yeah.
And so I remember going into town and talking to some of the people, nobody knew who I was. And I would ask people, about their local music. Do they sing in Gaelic?
Yeah.
A couple of guys looked at me like, what the hell are you? Well, Gaelic is the old Welsh. They said, no, man. We sing R&B. That's what we grew up with. We grew up singing some of your songs.
Right. Yeah.
And I just see wherever I go in England, they are constantly turning me on to mostly black artists, not all the time just black artists, but R&B artists that I haven't heard of or never made the A-list in California. We had our A-list and B-list.
Yeah.
B-list was back east and the A-list was Motown after it moved out here.
Yeah.
So, and it's just amazing some of the knowledge of soul music that the Brits have.
Wow.
Yeah, and in Europe, Europeans seem to be more loyal to the music, to the art form. Here, I'm not knocking what's going on here. Here's, what have you done lately?
Yeah.
And what are you doing next?
Yeah.
But I don't. That's why it excites me so much when I see the young kids, all races, really embracing the old soul music, the 50s and 60s and early 70s. Man, that's just like mind blowing. The guys, people my age, who were around when it was being made. Some of them are coming back, but they're somewhere else.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like there's like this revival of these kind of older music that a lot of young kids are really attracted to, and even people the late Charles Bradley and stuff like that. Like he was very popular, and same with Sharon Jones, and like people were really into it. And
I went to Charles Bradley's memorial service, or tribute service in L.A. about a month ago.
Yeah.
In Echo Park. I just couldn't believe. I mean, the place was packed. There had to be several hundred people there.
Yeah.
And the tribute they gave to Charles Bradley, and I had to hear 10 or 12 bands, and they were all playing some of his music. All these original bands knew Charles Bradley music.
Yeah.
And of course, the pictorial tribute to him was just beautiful. But I said, man, this guy, they just gave so much love to his music, and I see that sometimes. I'm going. I met the guy that produced him. Mm-hmm. His last, Gabriel something, and I gave him my condolences because I didn't know that he and Charles they were like tight for 15 years or something like this. But it shows that there's a market. And like Sharon Jones, everybody in England knows who Sharon Jones is. How many people know who she is here?
I wonder, it's probably a mixed crowd.
Well, maybe more now because your generation is making it possible, starting to listen to that.
Yeah, especially
So without your generation, man, I'd never stop music. I'd be doing something with music.
Yeah.
Teaching it or So I sing different styles, but I worked for years and not under my own name.
Yeah.
But now I can come out and do something and work under my own name, and because of the internet and the love for the music, people want to talk to me. They know who I am. I'm grateful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, do you mostly play shows like in Europe now, or?
Well, lately, last couple of years, well, I've gone to a couple of Marv's events, and just sort of told people that we're getting together and going to be doing a record and this and that. But then finally, we did a show on December 9th. I did a show where we promoted the record, sold some records, and I did a show on in the Valley about 3 weeks later. And I've got some more things. Marv's got some things coming up for me, and I get some gigs, and I'm going to, like you say, you take your merchandise.
Mm-hmm.
When I go to England, I can't take a whole lot of stuff there, but hopefully by every time I go there, I get some good feedback. So hopefully it'll help generate record sales or there at the concerts. I'm being at a concert with Patty Austin.
Yeah.
But hopefully people will start streaming it or whatever way they can get it through a website, whatever. But people want that vinyl.
Yeah.
Because even the people I sold the record to that don't have vinyl, I said, you're going to be getting record players.
Yeah.
And then when Best Buy came out and said they're going to be carrying some vinyl.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah. That's crazy. Urban Outfitters, like just vinyl crates all over the place.
Wow.
Yeah. They're one of the best selling places. Like, it's a clothing store, but like they sell vinyls and people are buying it there.
They got an idea. Starbucks sort of started the way, right? Selling coffee and and records
and the little Starbucks playlist or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Very cool.
No, that's the thing. Cool. Like, people are really into it. I wanted to know, what is it? Do you feel like do you see any difference from like playing shows back then versus like playing shows now? Well,
yeah. Let me think.
Like, could it be?
When I played shows back then, it was more of the hype. If you had a hit record, you were really bigger than life, and it's like you were a star and you only saw certain people and you were sequestered from the audience. Yeah. I'm right. Like Michael Jackson, you can see Michael Jackson walking through the crowd, hugging everybody, shaking their hands.
Yeah.
But I like this better. This is reminds me more of England, where when I go to these all-nighters and these big weekend events, they don't put us on a pedestal like in a big hotel somewhere. No, I'm right there on the grounds. I have breakfast with people. They want to fall by and talk for a while and have a libation or something. And it's like it's you're a musician. People love you. They know who you are. But don't get people want to hang out with you. They don't want to put you on a pedestal.
True.
You know what I mean? And I like that. Sure, I'm glad they support the music, but I mean, even Paul McCartney in England, when he goes home to his hometown, people don't make a big fuss about him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's just Paul, and if they want some music, him to raise some money or something, then they'll ask him. But I like the contact between the audience and the artist. The interface. That's what I think is much better now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a whole different perspective. It took me a while to get it. But I think when I went to England and started doing my music there, like I said, with the interface between the people, I said, this is what I want. And when I started going to Marv shows too, I said, this is cool, man. This is what the scene should have been like.
Yeah.
And now it's becoming the way I thought it should have been a long time ago.
Yeah. Definitely. I wanted to talk with you more about your new record, and would you be able to tell us a little bit about that?
Well, yeah. Of course, it's called Go Go Go.
Okay.
People.
Yeah.
Hey Hey USA, Go 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 UK. I owe so much of my part of my interest in my music again to the Brits, to Paul Weller in particular.
Yeah, the Jam.
Yeah, the Jam. Following he came out and did If I Can Only Be Sure, and there were people listening to it underground, but he started bringing it out more. And also then the Stone Foundation is the group that I've been touring with. They just made an album with Paul Weller, which is soulful. It is so good.
Yeah.
I recommend everybody pick it up.
Nice. Okay.
Street Rituals. But in England, they've just really kept the music alive.
Yeah.
And when I go over there, people tell me stories of how they were, really sick in the hospital, and Keep On Keeping On became their song, and wow. And then they play Keep On Keeping On at some of the high schools, their football games, I mean, I'm just I owe such a debt of gratitude, I think, to not only my audience here, but the audience in England.
Yeah.
So that's what that record really was about.
Yeah.
It was about talking about how I believe the Brits have sort of brought old soul music really back to life in their country. And I mentioned Marvin in the song also.
Oh, nice.
Have a friend in Marvin live in Hollywood, bringing sweet soul music to the neighborhood.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and that's really what that. I wanted to give it tribute, say thank you some kind of way. I mean, I hope they like the record. I don't know yet, but I think since I'm going there in June, it might be a little, good to make sure it gets played there a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome though, man. Yeah, no, it's really good.
And Marv and I, it's interesting. We've known each other about 3 years now, I think, a little over 3 years. But
yeah,
we sort of developed this relationship, and he brought me this song and that track, and the lyrics just sort of like synchronicity, just came, matched the track, and we started working together, and here we are, kind of in the record business together.
Yeah,
which is very cool.
Yeah, we'll definitely play that song, but I wanted to ask you just one last question.
Yeah,
that would just be, do you have any goals, or is there anything that you want to accomplish by the end of this year?
Yeah, I'd like to get a few more jobs, so every time I want to work or sing, I don't have to go overseas. And Marvin and I think, will be working on some other stuff. I'd like to do some more recordings. And yes, I'd like to do some more recordings, and I'd like to perform more if I can. I love performing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I was at your last event at the.
Yeah, I thought you looked familiar. You were over there at the Bar Melody. Yeah. Yeah, very cool.
I was at the merch table watching my.
Yeah. Yeah, we sold a few records.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
And I kind of went back to work, and they've been buying some records from me where I work, and I give half the money to a charity. And
that's nice.
That's another thing I'd like to do. I would really like to tie my music, the music that I'm doing, to some charity events.
Yeah.
It's a good thing to do if you can do it, right?
It is,
yeah.
Just give back to the community and stuff like that.
Yeah. And that's what I love about this scene too, man. It's not a political scene, man. It's just a creative, good time, good music,
Yeah.
Social scene. Yeah, I like that.
That's really awesome. Well, thank you so much, Nolan, for being a part of the podcast.
Sure,
It was really awesome.
I really enjoyed the interview, man. You asked some good questions. I mean, you got my mouth working like a motor, man.
Thanks a lot, dude.
All right.
Hey, 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 USA. Go, 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 Northern Soul. Jump up, whip high, touchdown low. Jump up, spin around and drive the girls crazy. Jump up, this ain't about no dancing 2 by 2. It's all about expression, all about you. Boogie woogie died in 68. More talent Detroit to move the funky LA. Well, man, LA sound was smooth and cool, but they were dancing down in London. They were singing to the blues. So get up, hey, 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 get up, and go UK. Well, I have a friend named Marv, live in Hollywood, bringing sweet soul music to the neighborhood. And Antonio, he likes funky old soul, baby, dancing to the music, round and yellow, black and white. Get up, way up high, touchdown slow. Jump up, spin around and drive the girl crazy. Jump up, this ain't about no dancing 2 by 2. It's all about expression, all about you. Get up, hey, hey, get up. Go, you go, hot about Northern Soul. Go, you. When Motown left for Hollywood, everybody cried in the whole neighborhood. Well, Everybody thought that the music had died, but they were dancing down in London, they were dancing in alive. Get up. Hey, hey, USA. Hey, hey, hey. Go, go, hey, go, 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 go. Talking about Northern soul. Get up. Hey, hey, USA. Hey, hey, hey. Northern soul. Oh, check that girl, look. Oh, look at her spin around. Hey, come on, baby. Jump up. Talking about Northern soul.
That was Go 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 by Nolan Porter. I had a great time talking with him. If you're enjoying the show so far, don't forget to follow Soulside Productions' social media. Links are in the description box below. Alright, let's keep going. Next up, If It's All the Same to You, a Northern Soul classic by Luther Ingram. This is Samba Radio.
If it's all the same to you, baby, I confess I'm in distress. Loneliness is getting me down. My heart will break, for heaven's sake. Please keep me around. If it's all the same to you, baby. If it's all the same to you, baby. Got to have your sweet, sweet charm, baby. Take me in your loving arms. I need you. I need you. I want you, baby. Got to have you. I need you. If it's all the same to you, baby. If it's all the same to you, baby. I can't take these heartaches. I know I'm gonna lose my mind. Understand, I'm a lonely man, and I need you all the time. If it's all the same to you, baby. If it's all the same to you, baby. To be loved is my only destination, baby. And you're my every inspiration. I need you. I need you. I want you, baby. Got to have you. I need you. If it's all the same to you, baby. If it's all the same to you, baby. I'm like a lone, helpless child. Without your love, I'll never smile. I can't help myself. I can't love no one else. If it's all the same to you.
That was If It's All the Same to You by Luther Ingram. I just want to say thank you for joining us on our 4th episode of Samba Radio. We will end the show with a song by the Precisions, If This Is Love. Thank you for joining me. My name is Kazu, and y'all have a great day. Bye.
Hear me, girl. You tell me you love me, but you've been seen with somebody else. Hear me, girl. You tell me you want me, but I've been sitting here all by myself. If this is love. another one of again.